you know, in film, how to go about it, you need to introduce it, and you say rolling. This is when we know that the camera is rolling, and then you say take. This is when you press the recording button. Because one of the things that we are discussing on digital media at the moment is how we can use the Hollywood grammar. So a standardized visual language of film, television, and liveness on video calls and in webinar and related environments such as camming, live casting, and streaming.
Hang on, we've got three. Have we got three attendees here?
Fantastic.
Yep, we have.
I think we have. So are we gonna, we've got, yeah, great, good stuff.
Great stuff, guys. Very welcome to our little
Hello, everybody.
webinar.
Hello.
Hello.
Hello, Madison. Hello. Hello, everyone else.
Hi,
Friederike.
Madison.
Hello.
So we are now here to answer your questions, but we also have prepared a little presentation, but we just have 30 minutes time. So we'll be introducing our courses, Tim, for advertising, branding, and PR, the only degree in the UK teaching all three subjects on one course. And digital media, I'm Stefan Lütschinger, I'm the program leader, digital media. And our subject is closely related, which also implies that I've been for many years teaching on advertising, PR, and branding. But what our degree, what sets our degree apart from advertising, PR, and branding is that we have a very strong focus on creative media production. So we are our graduates will produce actual complex digital media solutions, and this ranges from mobile phone app prototypes to websites, from interactive installations, wearable computing, interactive fashion, Skin 2.0, body hacking. We also have an experimental focus, but we also, of course, focus very strongly on the needs of the communications industry, advertising, PR, and branding. And we position our students in the field of emerging creative technologies. So what we want to do is we want to train scouts. We want to train early adopters to become pioneers in their areas. And in the past, this was data visualization was one of the emerging areas. Data storytelling 10 years ago. At the moment, there's a strong focus on virtual reality again, also with branching out in the fields of augmented reality and extended reality.
Stefan,
over to you, Tim.
I was just going to ask, maybe we should ask the three of them what they're interested in. So Madison, what are you interested in? What area of are you interested in? Digital media or advertising, PR and branding?
PR and branding.
Okay, that's good. Well, we can go into a little presentation about that in a minute. So is it Tyrese?
I'm interested in digital media.
Digital media, okay. And Federance?
Digital media as well. Yeah, sorry.
Digital media as well, okay. So why don't I just go through quickly. I've got a very quick presentation for you, just to give you outline what advertising. This is mainly for Madison, but obviously the two of you, they're very closely linked, these degrees. So that's why we've kind of joined these things together. So I'll just quickly run through it. I will zap through quite quickly because we've not got a lot of time. And I know that Stefan's got something he actually wants to show you on screen. So if I just share my screen with you now, can you all see that? Can you see that?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I see it.
Right, okay. So, okay. This is me. I'm a senior lecturer for branding and digital media. So you can see I cross over both as well. But I mainly teach on the. I mainly teach on the advertising, PR and branding. So why would you want to do this? Well, it's the only degree that actually brings all these parts together: advertising, public relations, and branding. The only one in the UK. We do a lot of work with industry clients. I'm particularly working with an advertising agency at the moment, and we use kind of a lot of state-of-art facilities to develop, creative ideas and from original briefs. When you leave, we expect that most graduates will have a portfolio of work. That they'll have developed industry connections because we have a lot of links to industry. It's all coursework as well, so you don't get any exams at the end of it. It's all assessed as we go through. There's a lot of individual work, there's a lot of group work, and a lot of experienced lecturers. I mean, my background is actually in broadcasting, but I've also worked in elements of areas of advertising as well. So 22 years I worked in the industry. So type of things you'll be looking at, we're looking at these saleable products, but as well as the kind of practice-based side of things, there's also a theory side to it. So you'll be looking at, not just products, saleable products in the sense of a commodity, but it's also about ideas, messages, even people, branded people. Different types of audiences that you're going to sort of reach. So, it might just be citizens, consumer groups, elite decision makers, maybe. And it's a lot about, how we communicate as well, and the different forms of communication that you can take. So looking at, different ideas like, mass media, digital media, social media, all the different platforms and different ways of communicating. We'll be looking at that as well. But also, from the theoretical side as well, we're going to be looking at sort of the impact. Does advertising impact or influence society? We're going to be asking these questions. Obviously, some of the historical things like the Benetton ads were very controversial at the time. Also, a lot about new advertising, the way that say Dove have looked at the way that they try and look at real people rather than models and things like that. So we'll be asking questions like that. Also, this idea of the reality of life. So maybe concerning disability or issues like that, how they fit into advertising as well. Obviously, we can't ignore things like the environment. That's a very, very big one at the moment. Particularly. With the Extinction Rebellion and lots of work that's going on there. So we look at things like that. Some of the key skills that you get, one of my big areas is creativity and conceptualization, and this idea of coming up with a big idea for advertising. But also we look at kind of critical thinking, planning, presenting, pitching, do a lot of pitching. So you'll learn really good pitching skills and how to sell not just come up with the idea, but sell the idea as well. Collaboration, entrepreneurial collaboration, and writing. So, copywriting for different audiences. So also content design, production of your advertising for different platforms. So web, social, mobile, print. And this is a kind of quick rundown of what you'd be learning in the different years. The one that I will work on in the first year, when I teach on, is creative advertising. So as I say, we do a lot about conceptualization, developing your sort of divergent thinking skills. Second year, I work on campaign planning as well, which is also working as a team to develop a plan for a sort of. At the moment, we're working on an environmental campaign. Then the third year, you'll do your independent project, digital advertising, and look at social media and public relations. Also, you get these optional modules as well. Mine's creative industry work placement. So that's actually looking at how you might get work in industry. So it's putting you in a placement or working on freelance and developing sort of your brand, your personal brand, so that you can go out and talk to people and show people, you know, your style and the individual that you are. We've had lots of different placements in lots of these different companies. Obviously, I'm not going to go through them all, quickly zap through it. We've got this exchange program as well, where you can go work in universities abroad. Obviously, that's slightly different at the moment because of the COVID thing, but these are some of the places that students have been on the program. We've got lots of industry speakers from all these bigger agencies. Recently, we've had the Vol 7, which I'm going to go on to in a minute. There's the Wunderman Thompson, which used to be JWT. So lots of different ones here. This is a creative who used to work at JWT, who's just recently won this Cannes Lions Award, who came in to talk about her campaign and how she came up with this idea, and she set up quite a lot of creative projects for people. So that's for the students. We have this sort of annual event as well that, at Ogilvy, which is a really good networking event. We also have things like the North London Story Festival, where we work on the promotions for that and the media relations for it. We do a lot of social campaigning as well, working with Oxfam, Friends of the Earth we've worked with. A lot of that's very embedded in the programme. We also do this thing with Creative Conscience, which is a competition. They work on lots of environmental campaigns, social campaigns, very interesting. Look them up if you want as well. Also the final year projects. So we would have, you know, this one was an event for the, you know, women promotion and power. So some really great projects coming out at the end. And these are some of the jobs as well that some of our graduates have ended up working. So quite a lot of different varied areas there. That's it. I'm going to hand over to, obviously I've zapped through that pretty quickly because we want to share this. Don't want to take up too much of Stefan's time. So just quickly then, has anybody got any questions about what I've just spoken about? Very, very fast. I know I went through it very fast, but obviously we've got to share it. Madison, have you got any questions?
I don't, but it looks really cool.
Yeah, it's the third year. We revalidated the course 3 years ago, and this is the third year, and I think it's really come into its essence now. As I say, you know, my particular area is developing people's creative skills and conceptualization skills. So, and we're sort of getting. I just think every year it's just getting better, the course. So we're really excited about it.
Yeah.
Okay. Any other questions? Sorry, say that again. Sorry, Madison.
Oh, I said thank you so much.
That's okay. Anybody else before we pass over to Stefan, who's got some interesting exercises to go through? Okay, I think it's up to you, Stefan.
Yes, so hello everybody again. So I will be now talking a little bit about digital media. So thank you very much, Tim, for this introduction of your course. And you have also pointed out that advertising, PR and branding has been revalidated. So what happened is that out of the, you know, as our business diversifies and more new technologies emerge, the landscape of advertising, PR, branding, of mass communication, of the communications and consciousness industry diversifies and becomes richer and richer. This is why there has been a reorientation, and our new digital media degree that we started 3 years ago and now running in the 4th year puts a very strong focus on creative technologies. So all of the things that Tim has presented digital media provides you as well, but I would like to invite you to send me an email and schedule a personal one-to-one with me, or maybe another team member of mine, so you get to know us and can also see how we are working, and also working under this rather constrained in this rather constrained framework. So what I'm going to do in the next couple of minutes with you is I will let the medium be the message, as we say in media studies, after Marshall McLuhan, the first media theorist you'll probably get to know, and show you a little bit about how we work with creative technology, a bit like a streamer. So I try to work like a streamer and show you how to put together a prototype of a mobile phone app, which is indeed one of the exercises we'll be performing in year 1. And while all this is happening, I invite you to unmute yourself and just ask questions, and I will, like a streamer, try to do 2 things at the same time to let you participate in the production of live art in the moment of creation. And secondly, I will try to answer your questions. So let's have a look at what I've prepared very quickly before I forget. A very, very good presentation of our degree is this video that you have probably watched, so I can highly recommend this. But another very good way of understanding what we are doing is actually to already familiarize yourself with creative technology. And the best way to go about this is your mobile phone. So Adobe, which is the sort of the flagship producer of creative apps such as Photoshop, Illustrator, industry standards in graphics design, photography, Adobe Premiere, industry standard in video production, Adobe After Effects, the industry standard in motion graphics. All of these software packages also have a mobile version, and this mobile version is not a dumbed down version, but a very intelligent module extension in itself. So if you want to learn about how to edit video, I invite you to download Adobe Premiere Rush, which is not a dumbed down version of Adobe Premiere video editing software, but indeed a very simplified, very elegant tool that, for example, mobile journalists, from celebrity journalism to war reporting, would be using under very, very constrained conditions. A cocktail party where you're sort of, being pushed around, and war situation where it's indeed necessary to keep your head down. So this video editing app, mobile video editing for reporting right from the flashpoints, comes with a fantastic interface, magnetic tracks. So I really want to stop my pitch here and invite you to download at least Adobe Rush, which is the video editing software. Photoshop Camera, which is the most amazing 3D effects you've ever seen. Forget Instagram. Adobe Photoshop Fixer, Adobe Photoshop Mixer. So there's a whole bundle of free creative mobile apps, Adobe's mobile apps that you can install on your phones and get going. And one of them, I think the most exciting one for us who want to understand how technology works, we're now looking at mobile phone design from a UX, from a user experience design perspective, would be using Adobe XD. XD stands for Experience Design. Adobe XD is free. You can download it from the web. You can get started now. You can conceptualize and create prototypes in Adobe XD and run them on your phone and create tangible, immersive experiences right after the session. And if you bump into any difficulties, you'll just drop me an email and I'm more than happy to put you on the right track. And this is indeed how the interface looks. So what we are seeing here is a prototype of a mobile phone app. We can, when we zoom in, see that we are we are looking at different screens, home screen, and this is being followed by different sections. So we'll be putting this app together. I have 8 minutes, so I'll do my best. I have indeed done this exercise many times, but we'll see how it looks. So what you can see here is an environment we use to create immersive experiences, such as mobile phone apps, touch screens, points of sale, interactive systems that respond to a tangible input, voice input, the position of a person in the room before that. So very exciting software indeed. So how does it work? You got two different modes. There is a design mode and there is a prototype mode. The design mode, nomen as nomen, will allow you to choose from a variety of drawing tools, text tools, artboard tools, and views. So this is indeed our home screen. I've selected my first artboard, my home screen. I will fill this home screen with blue color. And what I'll also be doing is I will be adding a logo. There you go. So this is how our app works. And what I would like to achieve is that before I arrive at my home screen and then click on its buttons and then being transported into my app environment, I would like to have a little time delay. So what I can now do is move to the prototype mode and create a transition. I don't want to choose tapping or dragging. We are now discovering that there are different types of user input interactions, event handlers, as we'll learn to call them. We don't want to tap, we don't want to drag, we want the event handler time. So we want to make sure that there is a delay of 1 second that allows us to view the logo. And then we'll have another second for the transition. We want to ease it out and we'll see how this works. We'll now click on our first screen and we run it. And you can see that after time delay that indeed shows our logo, we have now arrived at a fully scrollable prototype. But what we want to do is we also want to wire it up with the following, with our following screens. See, this is as easy as it gets. You tap, you choose the transition that you wanna play, dissolve, slide left, slide right. So you can see there are a number of transitions you can choose from. We'll run our prototype again in the prototype mode. After a time delay, we arrive on our home screen and we can now scroll down and click on our now active hotspots, and you can see we already got a basic working model. Isn't that super exciting? So the best bit of all of this is that it's not only that you can put an app together like this, but also run it on your mobile phone, because Adobe XD also comes with a viewer. So you could now either copy your prototype to your Android or iOS device, or you could share your prototype for review on the Adobe's social media networking site, or you can save it as a cloud document and then you can play it automatically on your mobile phone XD viewer. And this is how we take the first steps. This is how we take the first steps towards user experience design. Designing a mobile phone app, a user journey, events, UI patterns. So user experience design is indeed a language, just like the language of film is a very well defined system of signs and symbols and rules of combining these particles in the very same way we combine words to sentences and sentences to paragraphs, and in film we combine shots to scenes and scenes to sequences. In the very same way we combine screens and turn them into mobile design, UX design patterns. The design patterns form parts of my user journey, and these different sections then form the whole of my user experience. It's of course also possible to record this experience, so we can also record it, and while we are navigating, so you can now record. You can see the cursor has now been turned into a magnifying glass. We can now stop our recording at 10 seconds. We can now save it, and we have now a video recording of our user journey that we can send via WhatsApp or any messenger to our clients for sign off. And I'm gonna stop here.
Nice one, Stefan. So, do we have any further questions from well, the two digital media? Well, anybody, all three of you can speak if you want, but you got any questions?
Yes. So these were just a couple of use on interfaces we'll be working with. Adobe XD has a wonderful tutorial, so you can download it at home for free, but also Adobe Photoshop Express, Adobe Rush, and then experiment with these apps. And if you want to learn more how to create artwork with them, how to use these apps in, as Tim has already pointed out, a conceptual framework of a campaign or an image relaunch or a product launch, then you'll be invited to send us another email, and we can then discuss your personal preferences. And I'm more than happy to discuss with each and every one of you where you're coming from, what your personal background, what your artistic background, what leads us to me, what makes you passionate about digital media, and then we can see what we can offer you.
Yeah, same here. If you want to email me, then really open to chat with you more about things. You've just had a really a very quick insight into our courses, but there's obviously a lot more to them. We're just trying to give you a quick snapshot here, 15 minutes each. So hope you've really enjoyed. Yeah, go on, Stefan. Yeah.
And we don't know whether this works or not. We don't know whether this works or not because we are trying this indeed for the first time. So my plan was to do a little bit of live art and then let you participate. But I feel I've rushed it a little, and I don't want to sort of overload you with too much information just at such a short amount of time. So this is not the speed at which we are teaching. This is really just because we are compressing little demos in a sort of very, very to fit into, be accommodated in this very tight time slot. But my vision is to have more open days where I take the time of an hour, 2 hours, 3 hours, produce live art, and while I'm doing it, you can discuss with me, and I'm happy to introduce our degree to you.
Okay. All right. Are we?
Yeah.
Yep. Sorry, go on.
Yeah, no, over to you, Tim, if you want to wrap it up.
Well, no, I just wanted to say, you know, thanks a lot for coming along. I hope it's been useful for you. And, you know, obviously there's two really great sort of courses here. So if you want to explore them more, you can, you know, all three of you can email both of us and we'll give you information, further information on the on our respective courses. So yeah, hope you've enjoyed it. And last chance, any last questions from anybody?
Any questions with regards to the contents or teaching or careers even?
I think that's a no. Okay, really good to have you here anyway.
Brilliant.
Thank you so
Thanks,
much.
guys. Thanks.
Thank you.
So much for the introduction. It was amazing.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Thanks, guys.
So thank you very much, and please reach out to us. We are operating in very sort of very slim time slots, but we are more than happy to take our time, and I'm more than happy to offer you a one-to-one or you know, bring my teaching team on a Zoom call and give you a lot more personal introduction to what we are doing.
Thank you so much.
Okay, guys, it was
Thank you very much.
was good speaking to you. I hope I hear from you again. And of course, there's also the invite if you want to meet our students or recent graduates of digital media, or if you want to look at the coursework. So I think it's always a good idea to look at the coursework of you know, the students who have taken the course, because the work speaks for itself. So I can also prepare some materials and a link that you can download and work through and study and see where you could be going in a year's time, in 2 years' time, in 3 years' time, and after graduation.
Thanks, Stefan. It's great.
Brilliant. Thanks, Stefan. Thanks, Tim.
Okay.
Thanks, everyone.
Have a very lovely evening.
Yeah.
All the
You
best.
too.
You too.
You.
Bye, guys. Bye.
Bye.